Hello, fellow professionals. My name is Jack Winn, and I founded a hair color company called Jack Winn Pro. And today I want to share with you a little bit of product knowledge about Brilliant Paint, our Balayage Lightener. So I'm going to mix some up with you, share with you a little bit about its very interesting technology. Brilliant Paint was a product that I innovated because I was actually impressed with clay lighteners. There were clay lighteners on the market that I was impressed with, but I was also frustrated that clay lighteners weren't giving me the lift that I wanted. So we wanted to innovate a lightener that was great for hair painting, would stay in place, would, not affect the hair around it, and be great for balayage and hair painting, but actually give you that lift of a conventional lightener. So that's how Brilliant Paint was born. Technology is totally different. I'm going to mix some up for you so you can see the way I like to mix it. So I'm going to use it with 40 volume developer today. You can use it with any of our developers, 3, 10, 20, 30, or 40, but today I'm going to mix it with 40. Some tips and tricks about mixing paint. Its recommended mixing instructions are actually quite liberal. You can choose your own path when it comes to mixing paint. I like to mix it 1 to 2. A lot of people like to mix it, 1 part powder, 3 parts activator, 1 part powder, 1.5 parts activator. My sweet spot in my business is 1 to 2. So I also don't like to whisk it. This is one of the products that I don't whisk with our lightener. So you can see I kind of fold it together. And believe it or not, I like to leave little clumps of powder in there. I always tell this story about my grandmother. My grandmother taught me to make pie crust when I was a little boy. And she used to say, don't overwork your pie crust because you want to leave little bits of butter in between the flour. So when it bakes, there's these little surprises of goodness and it keeps your pie crust flaky. Well, that's kind of the same story with our Balayage Lightener Brilliant Paint. You definitely want to leave your Brilliant Paint a little bit clumpy. Actually, you don't have to. You can mix it completely smooth if you want to. Like I said, it's very much up to you. But for me, I like to leave it a little bit clumpy. Whitney, would you grab me a pair of gloves? Mm-hmm. So I like to leave it a little bit clumpy so that as I'm working, I can smooth it out on the back of my hand and really activate that product. So I fold it in, leave it a little bit clumpy, so there's a little bit of powder in there, and then I can really work with it. So I either mix it with a spatula or one of my larger brushes, and then I paint with a small brush. So what I'll do most of the time is I'll take that Brilliant Paint and I'll take it right out and I'll put like a little pile in the back of my hand, just like that. And I'll take that section of hair I like to work in like V's and slants with this. I'm going to show you a V pattern today. And then I take my cleaner brush and I work it a little bit on my hand first, just to really activate that lightener. And remember those little clumps of powder? Now I've worked them together. It's nice and smooth, but it's like I'm putting a freshly mixed coat of lightener right on that hair. I start in the mid shaft. I slowly work my way up so that that product, a little bit more, smooth it out on my hand. And a little trick, the whiter, the brighter with Brilliant Paint. So when you apply it really thick towards the ends, it's going to create a little jacket of product. And so it's going to insulate and give you brighter results through those ends. What's really fun about Brilliant Paint is that it is a silica technology. And the way that oil and water separate, that silica in the Brilliant Paint rises to the surface, creates a capsule on the outside so it doesn't affect the hair around it. It's a really, really interesting technology, much different than its clay-based competitors. And I'm not saying anything negative about the clay-based competitors, but essentially the way a clay-based lightener works is Like if you take a clump of mud or a clump of clay and you throw it in the sidewalk in the hot summer sun, that clay will dry out on the outside first, but eventually it's going to dry all the way out. That's why clay lighteners stop lifting and they stop at 2 or 3 levels. With our silica technology, that silica rises to the surface the same way that oil and water separate. That silica dries out just on the outside, but actually sealing in the moist product on the inside so it can keep lifting. So really, really different technology. We're seeing 7 levels of lift out of Brilliant Paint. Feel free to use it with, like I said, 3, 10, 20, 30, or 40 volume activators. An incredible new technology in hair painting. We're excited for you to give Brilliant Paint a try. I'll just do one more section just because I can't stop using this product. I have to show it to you. This is what I feel so excited about. I can lay the hair right on top of that other hair. And see, it didn't affect it, right? You can see when I picked it up, I dropped it right on top. It didn't affect it because that silica rises to the surface. You know, it's so funny, hairdressers say to me all the time, my favorite thing about paint is it doesn't flake or get all over the place like all of those clay lighteners. I don't look like a baker when I use paint. I actually look like a hairdresser when I use paint. And I laugh at them and I say, please don't choose my product just because it doesn't get all over the place. Choose my product because it has the highest quality pharmaceutical grade ingredients in it. Choose my product because it gets the hair brighter, it does a better job. Choose my product because it's healthier for you and your client. There's a million reasons to choose my product, but don't choose my product just because it doesn't flake or get all over the place. That's just a nice side benefit. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today and learning a little bit about Brilliant Paint, our incredibly innovative balayage lightener. Again, my name is Jack Winn, and I'm excited to have you watch this video.